This is the kind of emotional romance that makes you want to curl up under a blanket and cry a little. Hi everyone, today I'm sharing the 12 books that I read in March, ranked from the ones I enjoyed the least to the ones that blew me away. I'm not going super in depth with every plot since many of these I talked about in my March TBR video. I'll just be giving you a taste of what each book's about and how it hit me. Spoiler, some worked far better than others. My lowest rating this month was a 2.5 star, so not terrible. Okay, so let's start with my biggest disappointment so far in 2025, and that is The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. This one had so much promise. A missing kid at a summer camp, dark family secrets, that whole rich people hiding things angle. But this book dragged. The pacing was definitely off. I wanted more tension and less moseying around in different timelines. Frankly, it felt bloated. Like it wanted to be a sweeping mystery and a character study and a class commentary all at once, but never quite nailed any of it. Super disappointing, like I said, given all the hype this book has received. But shout out to the book jacket cover designer, Grace Hahn. Genius, but I won't say why because it would be a huge spoiler. My humble advice, if you haven't already, pass on this one and pick up All the Colors of the Dark by Chris Whitaker instead. Okay, so the next book that I gave 2.5 stars to was The Space Between Worlds by Micaiah Johnson. The concept, incredible. Parallel worlds you can only visit if your other selves are dead. The execution, however, kind of messy. I liked Kara as a main character and the setup really intrigued me, but the story lost me a few times and felt like it wanted to do too many things at once. I had a hard time connecting with the characters. I found the plot to be confusing, and yeah, the pacing was uneven. Summed up, I wanted to like this a lot more than I did. Now, moving along to my 3-star read, that is Then and Always by Danny Atkins. This had a sliding doors vibe with a tragic twist. What if one moment in time changed everything? I liked that premise, but I didn't feel super invested in the emotional turns. It was fine, but I've read other time-bendy books that packed a bigger punch. Plus, I saw the end reveal coming from miles away, so it wasn't that mind-blowing conclusion the author probably intended. So I'm averaging this next series I'm going to talk about to a 3.25, but book one, the book that kicks off the trilogy, ranked highest for me, and that is The Arrangement by Kirsten Modglin. In The Arrangement, a married couple basically agrees to date other people, and you already know that can't go smoothly. And that's before a tragic turn of events enters stage left. It's dramatic, juicy, kind of like a Lifetime movie in the form of a book, which isn't a bad thing. Truthfully, I couldn't put it down. A definite page turner, fun and wild. Okay, so backtracking just a little bit in my enjoyment level, the second book in this twisty little marriage series is called The Amendment. This one's messier, darker, and a bit more out there. There were moments I was into it, but it also felt like it lost some of the grounded tension from the first book. And then we have The Atonement, which was the third and final book in the trilogy. I believe there aren't going to be any more. I think it's just a trilogy. And this one definitely went even more dramatic. Lots of cat and mouse energy and secrets coming out. I was curious to see how it ended, but I didn't feel super invested in the characters by this point. There's only so much chaos their marriage could go through before I stopped caring. On to my 3.5 star reads. Let's start with The Butterfly Garden by Dot Hutchison. This one's creepy and disturbing in all the ways you'd expect from a thriller about kidnapped girls kept in a garden. The setup was really unsettling. Mystery kept me turning the pages, even if parts of it were hard to read. If you like criminal psychology and survivor narratives, you might find it compelling. I liked the mystery framework and the writing style, but the trauma was intense. Another book I gave 3.5 stars to was Isola by Allegra Goodman. This is a quieter book with some historical grounding. It's a survival story about a girl abandoned on a frozen island. It's inspired by a real person, and it was bleak, seriously bleak at times, but compelling. I liked watching our main character Marguerite shift from privileged to resourceful, and how the island setting became its own kind of character. However, the pacing felt uneven, and at times I was bored and pushing myself to continue on with it. It felt a little distant emotionally, but the story stuck with me, and the beautiful writing bumped this up to a 3.5 from a 3-star. So if you have time, pick it up. You might really like it. Okay, so some 4-star reads for March. Let's start with Defiant by Brandon Sanderson. This wrapped up the Skyward series. I won't say too much about it since it is the 4th book and I don't want to spoil anything. I will say Sanderson always delivers on the sci-fi action, and I like Spence's character growth here. It didn't hit me quite as hard as the earlier books in the series, but I was still really satisfied with the way things turned out. Overall, I highly, highly recommend this series. It's so good. The first 2 books are amazing. The next book I'm going to talk about was one I picked up from Amazon's First Reads about a month before it published, and that is Always You and Me by Danny Atkins. This is the kind of emotional romance that makes you want to curl up under a blanket and cry a little. It has grief, second chances, and that classic slow burn reconnection. I really liked both love interests in this one, but don't worry if you're not a fan of the love triangle, this isn't that. Not quite a new favorite, since I did find the last third of the book to be a bit anticlimactic, but it definitely had me feeling things. Okay, so coming in at 4.25 stars, I feel like a sportscaster, and that is Confessions by Kanae Minato. This one is a twisty and gripping Japanese psychological thriller. It starts with a bang and only gets darker. A teacher's daughter is murdered, and her quiet goodbye speech to her class is not what you'd expect. The layers of revenge and moral ambiguity, chef's kiss. Every character is hiding something. It's one of those books that makes you feel a little uneasy the whole time, and I loved it. I also love the creative narrative choices and writing style. This one hooked me early and didn't let go. I highly recommend. And finally, my favorite book of March, almost a 5-star, just shy at 4.5 stars. And that is Migrations by Charlotte McConaughey. This one completely gutted me. It's quiet, poetic, and so deeply sad. You're following this woman chasing the last Arctic terns on their final migration, but it becomes clear she's also running from her past. Franny is one of those flawed, fascinating protagonists who stays with you long after the last page. The writing is beautiful and heartbreaking and had me reflecting for days. Grab your tissues for about the last 20% of this one. Easily the standout of the month. And that concludes my March reading. Some duds, some surprises, a few that seriously left a mark. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of these or if something here caught your eye. And of course, if you had a standout book this month, I want to hear about it. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.